Cadby reached the UK Open final back in 2018, but has not lived up to the hype since, with many different problems occurring in his life that hampered his progress. Today we will take a look at his career so far and how it might be coming good again. Before this video begins, please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, as currently just 1% of my watch time comes from subscribers. Cadby was born in Tasmania, an island state of Australia, where it was hard for him to find regular competitive darting action. Therefore, in 2016 he made the decision to move to Melbourne in mainland Australia to play on the DPA circuit, which has launched the career of players such as Simon Whitlock and Kyle Anderson. Cadby won 7 titles on the Australian circuit in his debut season, as well as the WDF Australian Grandmasters, which meant that he qualified for the 2 PDC Australian World Series events, the first of which was the Sydney Masters, where he made his televised debut. Cadby was drawn against none other than Phil Taylor in this event. He missed match darts to make it 3-all in this game and eventually lost 6-3, but he was pleased with his 92 average on his TV debut.
It's a really good experience by me as well, like playing Phil, because I know he's 16-time world champion. I played magnificent for my first time on TV. I'm really happy with the way I played, and I can't wait for Perth, mate. Ready, roaring to go.
As luck would have it, Cadby drew Taylor again in the Perth tournament. However, both players performed better this time, and it was close early on with the score at 2-all after 4 legs. Remarkably, Cadby then won the next 4 legs to become the first player to beat Phil Taylor in Australia. This was despite the fact that Taylor averaged 111, but it helped that Cadby averaged over a ton himself and hit over half of his shots at double. Around this time, Cadby was signed by manager Mac Elkin to the Sportsman Management Company. Elkin has worked with major winners such as Dimitri van den Berg, Glenn Durant and Jose de Souza. In October 2016, Cadby flew to England to play some development tour events, as well as the World Youth Championship qualifiers. In only his second development tour event, he took the title, beating Jeffrey de Zwaan in the final. Following this event, he reached the televised final of the World Youth Championship, which would see him face Barry van Peer on the Players' Championship finals stage. Cadby started well, hitting a 126 checkout to go 2-0 up, and he eventually won 6-2 with an average of 98. This result saw Cadby qualify for the World Championships, which came just a few weeks later. Cadby had to start in the preliminary round of the Worlds and was drawn to face Chang Sun, with the winner facing Joe Cullen. He started brilliantly, taking out 152 in the first leg of the game. He won the first set 3-0 and did the same in the second set. He finished this game with an average of 102.48, which was the highest in preliminary round history, and set up the game with Cullen. He won the first set to make it 3 sets won on the stage in a row, but he then lost the next 3 sets and the game, despite averaging 98. Over the course of these 2 games, he hit 6-ton-plus finishes. Cadby said that he would go to Q school and get married in the early months of 2017. However, he did not enter Q school and instead opted to return to Australia for the year, with the plan to return to England with the rest of his family at the end of the year to move over for 2018. Cadby won more titles on the Australian circuit in the first 2/3 of 2017, before making his PDC return at the end of the year. He appeared in 3 straight World Series events, with the first in Auckland, New Zealand. He went on a great run, beating Peter Wright 6-4 in the first round with a 95 average. Michael Smith 10-5 in the quarterfinal with a 100 average, and Phil Taylor 11-8 in the semi-final with a 94 average. This set up an All-Australian final with Kyle Anderson, who was part of the same management company. Cadby went 10-9 up in the final, but lost the next two legs to lose the final in a deciding leg. At the next World Series event, he beat Raymond van Barneveld before losing to Taylor, and at the third event he lost in the first round to van Barneveld. Cadby was then invited to the World Series of Darts finals, which took place in Scotland. Cadby beat Jelle Clausen in the first round of this event, and pulled out some big celebrations during the match. This set up the Battle of Big Celebrators with Gerwyn Price. Cadby did a fairly big celebration after his first 3 darts in this game, as did Price, and the celebrations only got bigger throughout the game, which Cadby lost in a sudden death leg. There was a very frosty handshake after the game, with Price giving Cadby no eye contact. Next came the World Youth Championship, where Cadby lost in the semi-finals to Josh Payne, which meant that he would not return to Ali Pali. However, his victory in the tournament the year before meant that he had a place in the Grand Slam, which was next. He only managed to win one of his 3 group games and was eliminated at this stage. Cadby then went to Q School, where he won his tour card on the first day by winning 8 games without being taken to a deciding leg. Corey had a great start to life as a tour card holder, winning the 5th UK Open qualifier and reaching the final of the 2nd Players' Championship event. Then came the first major of the year, the UK Open, where he had a great run, winning 5 games to get to the final, where he lost to Gary Anderson. Despite this loss, it was a great result for Cadby, who was making his debut in the event. At this time he was signed by Target Darts, and was also being heavily linked with a place in the 2019 Premier League. However, this is where his darting downfall began, and he has not reached another PDC final since. After the UK Open, he went back to Australia, where he got married. However, it later transpired that he had been on a tourist visa, which had expired, and he found it hard to get a new visa due to his criminal record. Articles from 2015 later surfaced, revealing that Cadby had once been wanted by the police for failing to appear in court, theft, and numerous other alleged offenses. He was later taken into custody. Cadby was forced to stay in Australia for the rest of 2018, and he managed to win 7 of the 9 DPA events he played in. He was selected to play in the 3 Oceanic PDC World Series events in the summer, but was forced to pull out of the Auckland event as he did not have a passport, as it was with Visa Office. However, he did appear in the 2 Australian events, losing to Simon Whitlock in the first round of the first one, and beating him in the first round of the second one. Cadby was knocked out in the following round after this win, but attended the final day as a fan. A photo emerged of him on social media being carried out by police. His manager released a statement saying that Corey and his family were getting abuse from a very small section of fans. Corey's wife was then physically abused, which the police reacted on straight away. Corey got involved in a slanging match with another person after this incident, but at no time were any punches thrown by either party. The police once again intervened very quickly, and they, knowing Corey was a dart player, led him away from the crowd to defuse the whole situation. Corey returned straight back to the players' hotel. At no time was Corey arrested or cautioned. Cadby had qualified for the World Series of Darts finals, but a month before the event it was announced that he withdrew from the event due to breaking his arm in a car accident. However, Cadby did participate in local tournaments 2 weeks later, even before the World Series of Darts finals, where he pulverized his compatriots without any evidence of this broken arm. Cadby then also had to miss playing in the Grand Slam of Darts, Players' Championship Finals and the World Darts Championship at the end of 2018. It was communicated at the time that a missing visa was the reason for his absence from the World Darts Championship. In March 2019, it was announced that Cadby had got a 3-year sportsman visa, allowing him to return to the UK. Cadby also revealed that he had suffered from stress and depression during his time away from the PDC. He failed to make the same impact on the Pro Tour when he returned, and didn't reach the quarterfinal in any Players' Championship event he played in. However, he did win another Development Tour event, beating Luke Humphries in the final, and qualified for 2 European Tour events. Cadby appeared at the first of the European Tour events, where he reached the 3rd round by beating Michael Smith 6-5, but following this he had a big falling out with his manager. He posted lots of shocking claims about his manager on social media, which he has since said are false. Following this, he was sent home, back to Australia, by his manager, which Corey has since said was the best decision for both of them. This meant that he pulled out of all of the Pro Tour events for the rest of the year and did not appear in the Austrian Darts Championship, which he had qualified for. However, Cadby was once again selected to play in the 3 Oceanic World Series events in the summer. His manager flew over to meet him, and they initially had an alright relationship. He lost to Gary Anderson in the first one and Peter Wright in the second one, and was then scheduled to fly to New Zealand for the 3rd and final event. However, this is where he says he hit rock bottom, as he felt that his management and family were turning on him. He refused to board to flight to New Zealand, with his not answering his phone calls from his manager or the PDC. He was dependent on alcohol at this time, struggling with mental health issues. The PDC removed him from the event as he did not get on the plane, but the public statement said that he withdrew due to personal reasons. At this time, his relationship with his manager and team totally fell apart. He then went missing for the darts circuit and did not appear in any more events for ages. In October 2019, Wyndham Police in Victoria put out a warrant for his arrest for traffic and other related matters. He stated that he missed a court date in regards to alleged driving with no license, which he said he did have. He said also he did attend court after the date he missed. In late 2019, Cadby said that he had gone through a divorce and was coming to the UK to play the World Championship qualifiers. The divorce and not playing darts had hurt his finances, and so he auctioned his match-winning board against Phil Taylor in Perth. However, he didn't come back to the UK and wasn't present at the qualifiers. Elkin initially tweeted that Cadby would keep his tour card for 2020, but Cadby later resigned it, and was nowhere to be seen for a while. In May 2020, he released an interview with Phil Bars, where he apologized to his managers and many others, and stated that he eventually wanted to return to the PDC. In May 2020, he released an interview with Phil Bars, where he apologized to his managers and many others, and stated that he eventually wanted to return to the PDC. In May 2022, he won a tournament in Tasmania, and in December it was confirmed that he would attend European Q School in Germany in January. In the first stage of Q School, he qualified through to the finals on the second day, and in the final stage he won his tour card on the second day, meaning that he will return to the PDC Tour this year with a fresh new mindset. He is still supported by his manager and target darts.